Global equity markets, including India, are on a slippery slope. Investors are trading equities for safe havens like gold and bonds, as a spurt in COVID 19 cases and sticky inflation threaten to derail economic growth. Many countries, especially in Asia, have been forced to impose stricter lockdown measures as they're grappling with curbing the Delta variant of COVID 19. Mainstream indices in Japan, Europe, and the US dropped over 2% each on July 19, while Wall Street indices faced their worst drought since October 2020. Back home, the Sensex and the Nifty 50 indices have dropped 2% each from record high levels touched on July 16. Compare this with bond yields. The US 10-year Treasury yields are down to 1.2% from record levels of 1.7% seen early this year. Analysts read this decline in bond yields as a sign that investors are confident that inflation is transitory. However, it also shows that they are underconfident of the economic recovery if and whenever global central banks pull the plug on liquidity. You are part of Dalton Capital and Vaibhav Sanghvi of Avendus Capital Public Market Alternate Strategies, Decode for Business Standard. What is the way forward for the markets?
Even in India, if you really see you're really not sort of grappled with the COVID completely. So there are still lots of issues. If you see for the first time after several months now, even GST has been affected, which means economic activity has actually taken a turn for the worse. Then you saw the bluest of blue, the bank, HDFC Bank, having problems with NPAs. And actually, but if you have to see, HDFC Bank and HDB Financial, because quite a lot of the NPAs are probably there, and it's being almost wholly owned subsidiary. So therefore, you have to take it together. If you take it together, I think the NPA accretion is something that has never happened in HDFC Bank till now. So therefore, that goes to show that things are quite bad on the ground. So I think these issues are still, and of course the market is at very nearly the historic high. So therefore there can be some more correction. So there is certainly not factored. It is still that the numbers are sort of stuck between 35 and 40,000 for quite some time now, which is not really coming down dramatically, which was expected. So and now again you have all these festivals here and there, and so therefore one doesn't know how. And especially Kerala is one which probably grappled with the issue very well in the first phase, but the second phase I think they have let it loose and. Anyway, they are also easing some restrictions and all that. I think things are getting from bad to worse in respect of these, where they tend to carry the impression that they have grappled with it, which is not the case. They account for more than 50% virtually. Okay. So I think these are all alarming signs, and the states have to take up the issue very seriously and clamp down.
I mean, if we see the oil prices dynamics, as you rightly mentioned, are a lot driven by OPEC dynamics rather than anything else. Of course, after the opening up phase where people wanted to travel more, there was a short-term demand. There is a short-term demand, spike in terms of the oil products. And because of which you are seeing a temporary, probably demand supply mismatch leading to higher oil prices. Having said that, after that, I think we have seen a spike in, output being decided by OPEC. And precisely the reason why we have seen oil price kind of correct from about $76, $77 now to sub $70 as well. So again, the point here is basically if we are looking at a growth which is going to be a little subpar after this initial, initial recovery, then you might see oil prices, correcting back again over the medium to long term.
Dow Jones has corrected over 1,000 points in last two sessions. A correction of over 3% last two sessions indicates profit booking, a furious reactions. People are cautious, investors are cautious. Considering our market, Indian market, we were literally well positioned couple of sessions ago. We were trading nearby to 15,900 and we were heading towards 16,000 mark. The sentiments could have got much stronger if we have achieved or conquer 16,000 levels. However, last two sessions we could clearly see a gap down close. The sentiments are turning negative towards the market. People have become anxious to know what trend it is going to have. At this momentum, we don't see a big weakness or a downfall, a major reaction to the market. The key level for the Sensex is 52,300 and for the Nifty is 15,650. For the Sensex, a close below 52,300 would be hinting a downside of another 1,000 points, which is around 51,000 levels. The 50 DMA is placed at 50,750. So a close, aggressive close for the Sensex below 52,300 is straight away indicating a weakness towards 51,000 levels. However, for the Sensex, although it is 15,650, a crucial closing basis level, herein the 50 daily moving average comes at 15,550. There is a difference of only 100 points, but the way market is going to tackle the support of 15,650 is very crucial here. A close nearby to 15,640 or say 15,650 here and there, say 10-15 points or 20 points, could see a bounce back towards 15,800 levels. However, if we have an aggressive negative close below 15,650, then we could slide towards another 200 to 300 points, and the support of 50 DMA would not be of any relevance. So for the Sensex is 52,300 and for the Nifty it is 15,650, both the levels on closing basis. If anything goes wrong, if there is a real aggression on the downside, if there is a strong close, then we could see a slide of 1,000 points on Sensex and around 200 to 300 points on Nifty.
For a short-term period, I think the markets would be volatile and a bit in a turbulent phase. Where, as I said, if the market themselves, the market participants themselves are trying to find a direction in terms of, especially as the core element, which is inflation, where is it going? We may be in that kind of lull period, or probably a period where nothing much is happening. Having said that, dollar index gets strengthened. So have a look at that. If you see a dollar index reversing back again, then that is probably the time to jump in for the traders. But from a longer term perspective, I think big corrections should be utilized to add on to your equities, because the outlook for 2 years, 2.5, 3 years is pretty decent.
Long-term investors can start buying a bit on the recovery theme. May not, they got 100 rupees, they need not buy 100 rupees, but probably 25 to 35 rupees they can buy now. And wait, if the third wave doesn't happen, then I think as long as, and even if the third wave happens, this might actually correct a bit. But there is a chance that the third wave may not happen. It might actually suddenly. So therefore, I think one should wet one's feet, as it were.
In terms of an economic growth cycle, at this point in time, which we are assuming, where you will see recovery happening into materials, recovery happening into industrials, and probably banking and finance at a little later stage. And also on the consumer discretionary side to a bit as well. So these are the sectors where you may see some amount of action happening, and all the economy facing sectors as well.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.